Yo, what's going on? What is going on? As usual, and like I said yesterday, today is my off day. So, today we will continue development for Clajama. We will also have to do some integrations for real live customers. Also today, I'm doing a brand new pilot with some family members. The whole goal is that we get this completely tested. That is the goal. So what I'm waiting on is see if we can stream the other one. Local port 8097. Okay. So MDNS is coming. Secondary dynamic 168. All right, so this is a local stream that is coming from my actual local laptop. So this is me on the laptop, and this will be how we can keep track of, well, how you'll be able to see what I'm actually doing. Last night, I was watching the Keefy D, the Tupac trial. I enjoy watching trials. I don't like to see people go to jail. But let's get back to what we were doing. Let's get back on task and try to stay as tightly to the mission today as possible. I have to admit, occasionally, actually very frequently, I do forget what I'm doing. I do forget my next steps. And all right, so this is the stream from the local machine. This is what I'm doing on the other device. All right, so we got a chat. So today we are doing live development. The goal today is to work entirely with Clajama in the user interface. All right, let's pop that up. Oh, this is the video. My bad. I don't need that no more. All right. So we got the chat. We got this. Let me full screen this. This is all we need from over here. Okay. So I do have OpenCV scanning this here. Any keys that accidentally get shown, it will later come back and redo them. So yesterday or last night, this is the blog from last night. I am going to read this because I do want it to be a community. I do plan on open sourcing Clajama either as an API, to make it to where someone can use Clajama's flow with an API, which we already have an API. Clajama runs on its own API. So yesterday, I want to make sure that I get this on video. Lego Geek 145. This entire blog is dedicated to Lego Brick 145. Last night, around, well, actually at 12:32 a.m. prior to getting off, he exposed me to FixMap. Now, this is FixMap, and we kind of tested it. I played with it last night. It is an amazing code base. Amazing code base. And one thing I want to do while I'm developing what I'm doing, I want to make sure that we also give credit to where we get things from. Being a creator for me is not, it's not about, for example, I don't take any pride in the fact that if I can code everything myself, all of this is in-house. That's not what we're doing. That's not our goal. This is the mission or what I'm doing. Why? This is our mission. Knowledge gaps are not character flaws, they are design problems. There are so many people who just can't use computers. A couple years ago, I was actually running like a small, and I do see a flaw right here. You see how this does not match everything else? This is using its own design, which is illegal. So let's get the Claron.Chapman page. Chapman page uses independent design. Get it to EOS standard. Now, a lot of these pages, you'll see different designs going on because some pages came at different times. Some pages are older, much older. Some pages don't even really are supposed to exist. All right. All right. So let me kill this because we already can get to it. Let me clear. And let me close out and then let me clear again. All right. So what we're going to do today is attempt to get into the admin. What I will have to do really quick is let me pull this one down. All right. So once it gives me the password, we're going to get in and we're going to start taking a look at the administration. So the past few days, what I have been having to do is sign up as a user. Because the actual admin password is so damn long, I cannot remember it. I do not ever remember it. I would much rather prefer to literally scan a QR code and log in. I remember in like 2015, it was really popular. And then it just kind of fell off. All right, so once it gives me the password, we're going to go into admin and we're going to actually see. Okay, so now it's just getting out of hand. It's just searching for shit. So one thing we got to do is, let me see. All right, it's taking too long. All right, how about this? Let's do this. Admin. All right. So while I'm waiting on the password to get given to me, what I'm also doing is I want to make sure that Clajama is ready. I don't think my goal is to sell this, but from a perspective, we do need to be SOC aligned, ISO 27001, HIPAA. These are things when building this great piece of software, we still have to align with the standard. We need to align with the technological standard. So vibe coding is great. Vibe coding is great. The problem is just because you can create something, and it's doing a fix right now, doesn't mean you should just sling something together. It's like, oh yeah, I built a website to handle people's medical records. Yay. Then we come to find out it's going to leak people's records all across the network. And I had to put auth in. I definitely want to get that button redesigned. All right. So one thing that I want to make sure that we get, this is the pipeline. There is, we just put it in yesterday. It wasn't build traces. It's not blocks. And we also need a back button so you don't have to keep clicking back. Where are we at? All right, so there's supposed to be a graphical interface where we can actually see everything firing. The start new work still, this page is an overload. So tell Jama what you want, it becomes a new project. Why would we have a new project when there's a new project here? So I think start new work has lost its purpose with the more we're cleaning up, the more and also let me make sure. Yeah, I want to make sure. I want to make sure everything in here is as it should be. So what I am checking for in this go around, scheduled, unpaid, paid, is for consistency. As you can see, I don't like having to do this part. I should just have to get to click back. All right, now let me add this in. Let's list issues. Yeah, so let's get this one started. The Chapman page uses a different design than EOS. Where can we view the live activity of the site in graphical form? Which we did all this last night. I did get off early. This page was extremely, yes, so they fixed this one. This one was leaking, and then this doesn't really show out well. Admin / migrate missing styles. And this should be a column. Oh, and the main thing, let me get on that. You cannot use this site on mobile right now. Since our last changes, the styles, and most importantly, the Clajama site is not usable on mobile. It is not proactively shifting layout for mobile devices. All right, so I just gotta wait till it pops something else out so we can get these passwords cleared off the screen. Oh, and one other thing. Why can't I add files from my files? Also, why can't the user add files to files without having to do a private chat? If these are flaws we need to uncover. And lastly, The start new work is basically create a project. This is redundant. All right. So where are we at right here? All right. So we got that put in. Let me go ahead and try to build something. This is where we left off yesterday. Let's do this. Actually, let me think of something. That might be useful to do. Something we can do right now. Something that is relevant. See, I'm so stuck on Clajama that my ideas only sink into that. All right. Dang. Because I want it to be something I actually want, so I can literally judge it and be accurately about it. Let me think. I'm actually having a hard time figuring out something because all I want to work on is Clajama. So, I mean, I don't want to use the AI to come up with prompts. That kills the idea of what we're doing. The user should have something extremely simple. So let's do this. Mountain goat. I want to create a website that is educational about one breed of mountain goats. A mountain goat. It's for information only for goat lovers. Should accurately educate all right. Now this didn't happen yesterday. When we went to do this, it would not get here. There was an overlay. You couldn't see behind it. As you can see, it blurs everything else out. Today, we need to judge the building. We need to dig deep into our core service. The core service is building websites. All right, so it went from something else. I have not seen it do this yet. Again, I have not successfully built an entire website with the user interface. I can do it with the APIs because there's more control. And this might actually crash because it looks like it's doing changes to the file. Now, one thing that is, it's not really confusing to me. We're not building these sites from scratch. So I need to find out what specifically is occurring. I mean, I do know what's happening. It's going through taking the ID, it's building the blueprint out. Then it's taking the blueprint and applying it to our block system so it knows exactly which blocks it's going to put into a page. From there, it's coming up with the styles. It is re-editing the CSS for the blocks to customize them. It should be grabbing images, or if at last moment necessary, it will generate an image. The AI is taking longer than usual, but it is still working. So we're at 2 minutes for a build. And we're just going to let the build rock out. All right. So generating content. It's got 5 out of 14 blocks in parallel. And once this is completed, I want to go through and we want to trace the build process. We want to trace, where are you taking so much time? Are you in a loop that is flawed? Are you sending stuff to the LLM and it's coming back in the incorrect format? And so are you spending more time triggering fixes to just the prompt that's occurring versus actually the time you get to spend actually building, coding, and customizing? If we can get the AI to simply cut back on the unnecessary code, it's 2026. An LLM should not be coding a contact form. It should be grabbing the contact form's boilerplate. It should be applying the form's actual use. So, for example, a form where people can book a concert. It is still a form, but it's missing a date selector. Then it needs to be linked into the email chain so that the person does it, they send it, then we can do a follow-up. And then that should always flow back into the CRM. And so what are you building? What are you building? An automated design agency with marketing, automation for outreach, self-healing, blogging. The goal is to make it so a new business owner out the box has a team. All right, it's rendering the HTML pages. Rendering the HTML pages. It says there was a hiccup. Connection hiccup. Taking longer than expected. Reloading. Build timed out. This is a massive, major flaw. All right. So as you can see, let me see. I wonder what happens if you hit F11 on a small one. All right. So what we have here is that it says it's timing out. It didn't go into an interview. It immediately started building. And I just want to make sure. And so as you can see, it's completely blocked. It has completely brought the site to a stop. It's restricting the user from moving. This part here is incorrect. And then it just kicked me out. And that could be because of what I have going on over here. But the only thing is, all of the things that are done on my local laptop are done in a local dev server. So once it passes those tests, it's going to send it back to me. Let's do a refresh. And so it looks like the whole thing has become unresponsive. And I just now figured out what it is. It is actually working on the mobile version. So that will definitely stop a lot from happening. Let's go to blog. Can we get the blog? Can we get anywhere right now? No. So the whole thing has become unresponsive. All right, seems like we're back. Still shouldn't take that long. This site loads instantly. And it says that there's an issue with the network idle. Won't let me go anywhere. Yeah, it's completely jammed. So, what probably is causing this jam? I will tell you, quote unquote, it's not really a secret. Everything you touch and everywhere you touch on this site is tracked. It is tracked only to enhance user experience. For example, right now, or if it wasn't doing what it's doing in the back end, it would identify that this user has clicked the button, and then it'll actually have a count going. This person waited this long. It's going to log every problem. Everything I'm doing is logging. One of my favorite things is it follows you. And the reason it's following you, for example, let's just say if I went to do a contact form, or right now, I type this, type that, go through here. Let's just say the user is spending a lot of time making this selection. That's recorded, and then it's going to be reviewed. So, for example, what would cause this to take so long? If you are to look at it and then have OpenCV take a look, it's going to judge the gradient of these colors and say maybe they're too light. It'll go back and change that. If when you send this, it fails, it goes back to, and we might be able to get in now. It goes back to the admin panel. Okay. All right. We got to get these open rooms under control as well. Confirms its own bespoke native. So if you look right here, when we went to the about page, it was doing its own thing. All right, mountain goats. Okay, so we did get a build. Add social media links to the profile. Let's see what we got. These are our builds. Let's go to preview. All right. So now we are legitimately looking at a failure, but I don't know. Specialized click. So we do have content. There's a break in the design. Project created. And I would completely, and let me look how source codes get driven, because we want to make sure everybody, if you build something, nobody should take your stuff. Nobody should lock you in. I've been working on computers almost 15 years. And the most important thing to anything almost that builds stuff for you. All right, it's doing its search visibility, back to project. We need to look into this. Okay, and we got to load our real customers up in here at some point, but not during testing. I don't want it to bombard them, because I had one instance where it literally sent me the same email 260 times plus. It just was click, 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 click. And we did have to pay for that. We did get put on a blacklist, but I could definitely understand that was my fault. I just want to make sure everything looks clean. This right here, I'm not really understanding. And I would love to have a back button. Let me inspect here. All right. I have to do that in a second. All right, so it's working on media queries so we can get this estimated low. This is our client profile tracking. People who do crazy stuff will be blocked. They will be kicked off of the platform. Anyone asking strange questions to anyone attempting to test the service will be banned. It will be immediate. So if someone's like, hey, let me get the admin's password, and it's not your admin password you're asking for, ban. Ban with no refund. I think that would be fair. And a quick look before you publish them. Yeah, so this is bad. What does this guy have to do with a mountain goat? Missing content or missing content heavily. All right, so also it says right here the nav is 1495 px wide at 375. There are 3 inline style sheets on the dashboard page. All right, let me see. Let me go back. We have demanded and commanded no inline CSS. I don't want inline CSS. It's not useful. We don't want it to be like WordPress days where you had to go in there and keep adding snippets of CSS and doing important just to get it to override. We want clean, optimized code where once you find the problem, fix the problem. Right, so it did another build, 0 pages. Now what we need to do, so it went into it, it gave us, and I need this to hurry up and end. This is a big set of issues, so let me cut you down some. So dig mobile design needs perfecting. Inline CSS is outlawed for any page in Clajama or client sites. Lastly, review the full Mountain Goats project for deep critique and issue exposure. All right, yeah. My wife just got here. Make sure she good. All right, so what we're doing is we're digging at the mobile design. Let me get a zoom in right here. Oh, that's the best you can do. And this actually looks outdated. Chat grade, empty fix, restoration. Refresh if it stalls. Come on, Felicia. All right, so the other computer is tripping. It's your code name. Understood. Wait, Mountain Goat isn't a project in the database. What you mean it ain't a project in the database? Mountain Goat was built, and I did it on the admin Clajama.com account. Get organized. You're misleading. If I say it, it is. All right, and so let's do a refresh. All right. So, anyways, let's take a look. Obviously, you cannot. Okay, it's putting in more information. It's putting in more information. I don't know if you can see this. This was empty before. Species, empty. Gallery. Don't know what the hell this is about. And fact. So it is, I don't know, estimated wildlife individual stable. Mountain Goat Gallery. All right. So we can obviously see that there's an issue. You can obviously see that there's an issue. So with this next dig, so it's saying to me, which we can't see it on the stream over here, is the reason Mountain Goat fell apart is that there are 27 inline styles and it completely broke all the rules. Admin EOS sits outside any media query, so it permanently overrides the responsive collapse rule. Fix. All right. So what I'm expecting or hoping is at any given moment, we're gonna have this. We're gonna have more and more clean builds. What has to happen right now is that we have to, and this right here, I think this needs to be over here. We don't need this chat in the way. All right, so my screen share is pretty much tripping, which is okay. But yeah, we're getting close. We're getting closer and closer and closer. It did another build. I'm gonna have this entire and this shit makes no sense. Shit makes no sense. Also fixing the viewport. All right, so what I'll do is I'll come back later on and let it dig at this to find what's wrong. And I'm still looking for version 2. Rebuilt that one a few minutes later. Yeah, so I'm pretty certain 7/25. This is 5 days ago. All right, so it's fixing the mobile design. And so when I come back, we're going to get into, it's still working on this site, going through these. Only did one build. Species. And this is the craziest shit to put that picture there. All right, so while it's doing that, what we'll do is I'll come back to stream later on. Because we need evidence of it doing builds. We need evidence of the power of Clajama, which we're not able to see it inside of here. This is the problem, folks. Mike scans. My scans. Oh, Mike's. So this is one that's actually built. This is one of the first clones that was done to show, and actually this design itself that we cloned was actually built with Clajama in the command line interface. So fast. Loads so fast. Add to cart. Loads so fast. And I do see one issue. Update. Do you have to update each one individually? So let me see how that works. Yeah, you'd have to update each one individually. Update. So that doesn't really make sense. We'll have to get that fixed. And their history is an instant load. This is actually a commercial client. It's actually a commercial client. They are one of our lead guinea pigs. One of our lead guinea pigs. All right. So yeah,